Welcome back to the Bjorn Pink Show. This is a show where we strive to keep the artist's heart at the center of everything we do. To be frank, I need to work on my mantra, but in the interim, now saying, we don't have a budget for that right now. But we push on nonetheless. But I'm a comic improviser, comedian, actor, just all around hustler. And today, and a content creator based in New York City. And today we have a very special guest, my good friend, Orlando Zane Hunter Jr., and also known affectionately as God's gift to Black people. The next time you go to Starbucks, you just tell them that, especially in New York. What's your name? God's gift to Black people. Oh my God, you can't say that. You can't correct me. I'm Black. I can say that. But and he's an international dancer and choreographer whose work is deeply rooted in social justice and the upliftment of marginalized communities, no matter what community that might be. And he's also a master's candidate in dance, but I don't think I'm saying that. Am I saying that right, Orlando?
Yes, I'm a master's candidate, or in pursuit of my master's in dance with the focus in agriculture and technology.
Oh, great. Man, so we can start. I've been knowing you for almost a decade, probably, and you never told me your full name was Orlando Zane Hunter Jr. Like your mama got almost all the letters in there.
Right.
Yeah, but it suits you. It's interesting how people's names suits them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. How's your heart doing?
My heart, wow. My heart is doing well. I've been doing a lot of planting. I am a farmer. I recently became a Ohio master farmer, urban farmer specifically. And so just having my hands in the land and having a piece of backyard, to be able to grow my food. And so I've just been able to just be outside. And so my heart is really good right now.
Oh, wow. Congrats, man. White supremacy treating you all right?
Treating me all right?
That's white supremacy. Oh my God, did he just say that?
Like what? No.
You're still plowing through it, man.
All the way. I mean, coming to Ohio is interesting because I had to be a part of this white institution in order to evolve my craft in a way. Not to say outside of this institution I wasn't, but having the kind of time and space to do it without having the hustle in my mind. I mean, I still got the hustle in my mind. It's like, oh yeah, I got to do this because, the summer coming up. What am I going to be doing? But I wouldn't have had time to really play with technology and, figure out how to touch the soil and touch an apple and make some shit happen on a screen. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't have had that time to do that just sitting in New York City. You know what I'm saying? So to evolve in this craft, think about money, right? Like longevity in the field, going to get a master's at this particular point seems like their security. A lot of artists have went into the master's program, have thought that they're security in this, but obviously there's none because you get out in the market and they still on some willy foo foo shit.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, so how do I really make this work for me? So being in this system, where there's, a rubric to how they want you to accomplish things. Obviously you got to wake up for their fucking classes,
Yeah.
and not all of the, how I say this, not everybody wants to be there. Not everybody wants to be there. It's faculty included. You know what I mean? And so
Wow.
it's a hard place to be when you are an artist evolving. In terms of the container you have to be in,
Yeah.
what it actually looks like, the white walls, the majority white students. Ricardo and I came into our cohort as the two blacks, and then there's a young white woman and a young Japanese American in our cohort. So, and then everyone above us, because it's a 3-year program, it's literally like you get 2 black people.
Wow.
So you like, oh, so we see the pattern, we see the algorithm. You know what I mean? So it for me, it's really been moving on my own terms. I came in here as a duo, with Ricardo and I,
Yes.
and making the claim that we don't have to work in an individualistic way. We can come into these systems and work collectively, and you will make the arrangement for that. And so being in the space and having to do the navigation is it's interesting.
Yeah.
Because I've never moved this way in the educational system before. I've gotten my undergrad at University of Minnesota, and up until then, that's an individual experience moving through the educational track. But being in higher ed now and being more equipped to how a capitalistic system wants to break apart solidarities, we found a very, I don't know, interesting and integral way to move through together. So is white supremacy treating me good? Never.
I don't think white supremacy treats white people good, but that's just my own personal opinion. I don't think it's meant to treat anyone good.
Hello.
If I've offended you, who gives it? Oh my God, you can't say that. Can you tell my viewers about your journey as a dancer?
Yeah, I mean, I always say, started out dancing in my living room when I was young. My babysitter taught me how to dance, for videos and just like what she knew. And then as I grew up, I was born in a place called Kankakee, Illinois. So that's kind of where I did more of my formative years. And then moved to Minneapolis, Minnesota, when I was in about 2nd grade. And then I just remember being there in Minnesota. There were always these opportunities. Like I used to go to the Boys and Girls Club, and there was like little dance things that would happen there. And then it wasn't until, well, when I got to middle school and things, I started to do more group, like on my own. Oh, these are people who are around and dancing. We had a little group, but it was mostly girls. And then I got to high school, formed a group called Soda Soldiers.
What was it called?
Soda Soldiers, like
Soda
Minnesota
Soldiers.
Soda Soldiers. It's like SSSS. But yeah, that was my high school life, and like that's when I really became entrepreneurial. I was dancing at Sweet 16s and Juneteenth events,
Oh wow!
Talent shows.
They were paying you?
Well, not real. Well, the Sweet 16 paid us. Gotcha. I remember we got paid for that. And then that was also a thing because we were just getting started, and like I remember one of the guys, because this was also guys that I started to dance with more dudes when I got to high school. It was like two more guys who came in, and it was like 6 of us. And I remember Rashad, one day we was in rehearsal, he's like, I want to start getting paid. I'm like, well, when you just started out and you like negotiate, the people don't know what you do, like how you do it. You got to show the product. Like, how you gonna get somewhere and nobody know what you're doing? You gotta have some pro bono work at first.
Yeah.
And so then get into high school, college. A friend of mine, she told me about this school, Purpose Center for Arts Education, which was a 11th through 12th grade school. And so you would go there, and it's a performing arts school, and I knew nothing about ballet or modern dance, and you could audition with your art form wherever you were coming. But what was beautiful about this process was there were words that you were given, so you were able to interpret them however you wanted. So I auditioned in hip hop and got in, and then that's when my world really kind of shifted in terms of how I understood the world of dance and the different estuaries, if you will, that you could take as a career. And so then that's when I learned that I could go to college for dance, and I ended up auditioning, going to the University of Minnesota, where I had a great experience there. Then I graduated 2013 and moved to New York because that was the thing that everybody does, right?
Yeah.
And so when I moved there, it was very interesting because I auditioned for my dream companies, if you will, which was Bill T. Jones and Cedar Lake Ballet.
Okay.
Cedar Lake Ballet closed down literally after I had auditioned for them. I got all the way through the audition, and they're like, you're a great dancer, but we're not going for the whole Rasta look. Like,
oh shoot.
Dang, wow. The Rasta look? She's like, maybe, is the artist, his name is Hofesh Schechter, and he's in London.
Yeah.
And she's like, Hofesh Schechter goes for the whole Rasta look. Maybe you can go over there and dance for him. I'm like, why the fuck I gotta go all the way to London? Yeah, so that was like, no, okay.
Got you.
And so then I auditioned for Bill T. Jones. I got like partly through the audition. It got to the voice part. And Bill T. Jones's voice is a little more down here, and he makes a deeper tone. And so once I got cut during that section, I was like, I gotta create my own shit.
Yeah.
I just got to create my own shit, because trying to bop around and, ask people, can I dance for them?
Literally.
I was like, this is not it. And in Minnesota, I had such a rich dance career. I danced for multiple companies there. I helped start companies there. I was a part of a Nia Dance Theater, which is a contemporary Indian dance company. It's an all women of color company. And I was the first male body to be a part. And that's such a enriching experience, as a dancer, but like not only the vocabulary, but the model of how that company like works in the world, from a social justice model. And so coming to New York, or going to New York, and thinking that I would find a space that would, again, coming from that experience with the Nia Dance Theater, that's very steeped in identity, steeped in spirit, steeped in solidarity practices, and then coming to somewhere like New York, where it is very individualistic, what I mean, in terms of how people are on a grind and how they're trying to move and evolve in whatever they're doing. And so I definitely saw that, but it was a godsend for Ricardo and I to meet at this audition for Urban Bushwomen, and later bump into each other to really understand that, hey, we're gonna be friends. We don't know how, we don't know why, but we're gonna do this. And so we just had multiple conversations about what we wanted to do, how we wanted to create, because Ricardo is from, obviously people on here don't know who Ricardo is.
Yeah.
Ricardo Andre Valentine is my collaborator in our collective Brotherhood Dance. And so we really started this journey on togetherness. Like, what does it look like for two same gender Black male bodies to tell stories that are often not told, or tell stories that people think they know, but because of the perspectives that we have, it opens up aspects of our humanity that we hadn't sifted out yet, if you will. And so now we're here. Our journey has taken us to the land, and we really have this practice between farm to studio to performance, and figuring out how the dances of the African diaspora already hold the knowledge and wisdom of working with the land, of how to be together, of how to heal yourself, and being able to put those into contemporary times, and be able to also look back, to look forward, to say, how can we work with these dances? How can we work with the earth? How do we work with technology to build sustainable futures for ourselves, and to create new pathways for revenue?
Yeah. Well, while you were speaking, I thought about like, what did you learn, or what do you learn from being quote unquote male body in a predominantly female cast, or dance crew or team? Like, what are some of the things you think that men can learn, and what did you learn?
Well, you learn how to listen. I think that's just the thing. Like, when you're outnumbered with difference, you're like, oh, well, I don't know what the codes are here. So I need to listen
Listen.
and pay attention.
Yeah,
So
man.
I know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I mean? So like that's like
yeah.
number one. And I've learned that, and I always attest this to growing up with a single mother and having aunts and my grandmother, being around Black women and already knowing how to engage and already knowing, having a sensibility, of being in women-centered spaces. So for me, it was just like, oh yeah, I'm comfortable in this kind of space,
I got you.
And so another thing that I think I learned was being in the dance world, there is male body privilege because they are very few. Like a dude could just pick up dancing today and it's a whole room full of girls. He can look like I don't even know what, but people would be like, okay, we can work with him. All these girls have been in here training down for their life.
Got you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they want the presence of a male body to also embody these heteronormative roles, right? So this is another thing that I've, pushed against in my creative practice. Throughout my undergrad career, I was lifting. This was the choreography.
Gotcha.
Walk, walk, walk. Doop, doop. Lift. Dun, 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 walk. Lift. Like, I was like, am I dancing? You gotta dance. You gotta figure out how you dancing in the lift. You know what I mean?
Oh, so your job was to lift the woman.
Like, okay, I want to be lifted. How about that? So
he was a Black lifter. I went to college to lift Black people. Nobody lifted me.
I wish I was lifting Black people in college. I wasn't.
Yeah. You was lifting white people.
White people.
Got you.
So, having the agency, to create my own narratives, and have the agency of my body and know, okay, especially once I got into a Nia Dance Theater, because I remember specifically in middle school, a teacher, a Black male teacher, my science teacher, he asked me, did I want to be a girl? Because I was dancing with the girls. And I was like, what? Like, I was taken aback because I thought that he was a safe space. You know what I mean? Especially as a young Black boy in middle school, so, and also knowing that I understand my femininity and it lives in my body, but it had never crossed my mind at that point, or me, not even just, that wasn't a thing that I wanted for myself,
Yeah.
I'm comfortable in my body.
Yeah.
And so moving forward, as you get older, middle school is a thing, that's when people are really understanding themselves. I came out in the 8th grade. So that being a whole, up until about when I got into Nia Dance Theater, a whole time of trying to fit or be or adjust when I got into different spaces. And it was a lot of this, And then when I got into Ananias, it was like, oh, I can be all of this shit at the same time. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And she really helped fine tune what it meant for, and help me research for myself what it meant for femininity to live in this same gender loving body. And how to harness that and be all of myself. I think that was a huge undertaking for me, because it was one of those things where it was like, I know that I am a feminine being, coming from this masculine body, or people will perceive certain performances as feminine from this masculine body. Right. And so it don't matter. I mean, now, like, again, you have on a pink sweater now, right? How, I don't know, long ago with a pink sweater would have been like, is that nigga gay? You know what I mean?
Hey,
that's
it's sad. It's just, yeah, it's utterly sad when you think about it.
Very.
Yeah.
So we don't get to really take in whole people.
Yeah.
Because we start to part and parcel them out because of how we perceive them to be and what we have been told about that perception.
Yeah.
But right now, I think the beauty of being in those spaces and the beauty of learning from these Black women and women-centered spaces is having a integrity to self, that a lot of times in male-dominated spaces we don't get, because there's a lot of posturing.
Yeah. I wanted to touch on something you said. You said that you came out in the 8th grade. Wow, what was that like?
Well, I think it was scary, I guess.
Yeah.
But it was like one of those things that I was ready for. Like, I was out to my friends at school, but like recently found out that my sister actually outed me to my mom. Like, after all of these fucking years, I was mad at my teacher because I thought that my teacher had outed me to my mom, because she was the only like adult that knew.
Yeah.
And so I was like, what the fuck? Did you tell my mom? Like, I went to school, I fucked her shit up. Like, her whole desk, everything. I was like, it was a mess. It was a mess.
Yeah, hold on. You messed up your teacher's desk?
Yes. Look, my past self was a lot more rowdy. And
did they suspend you?
No.
Got you.
But yeah.
You had a white moment.
Yeah. Talking about myself, fuck all that shit. But yeah, I was like, no. I mean, I felt like that was the ultimate disrespect in my mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Somebody who I thought was, again, a safe space. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I fuck anybody shit up if they disrespect me like that.
Got you.
Like, don't like that. And I guess as a Scorpio too, it's like the dishonor. You know what I mean? Like, me sharing a secret with you, and then you going to tell like my mother, but that wasn't even it. My sister fucking told me. I did apologize. At this point, at this big age. But it was one of those things. There was nobody to talk to. You know what I mean? My mom, she tried to do the best she could, like any parent does, but you're not equipped. No one's, especially in the Black community, telling you, oh, this is how to raise a Black gay child or same gender loving child or a trans child or what, like that's not in the lexicon,
Yeah, yeah.
So having to grow up a little isolated, in terms of how my feelings were heard and how I could love openly, that really does something to a person when they can't fully evolve in love, and so trying to figure that out with men who are masking lots of other things, who can't be themselves, who, you know what I mean? So then it becomes this cycle. And so I think even today, finding love and seeking out partnership and those things is still one of those things that I come up against, because people have had to hide and harden themselves for so long. So it's just a process.
Yeah. I think you've spoken on a couple of occasions now about like men hiding and masking. This might sound just like a weird question, but is there any benefit to hiding?
Of course. Of course. That's why it's called, a capitalist illusion.
Yeah, yeah. For sure. For sure.
Yeah. When you hide shit, then they're like, oh, you don't know about that. We don't care. Yeah.
We didn't know he was a bad man.
My word.
Didn't you see that nervous twitch he had?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, thank you. Years ago, I remember you telling me anger was a gift. You still feel that way?
Oh, yes. 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 It's a gift. It is a gift because it's transformative. And it's one of those emotions that, people try to shy us away from a lot.
Yeah.
But for me, I channel rage through dance, and rage sits in my belly like now, like,
yeah. I got you.
You know what I mean? But I've again, I told you I was knocking shit off of teachers' desks, and like I was fighting, when I was younger, like that was the only way I knew how to protect myself. That was the only way I felt like I could be heard, right? And so it's like, how do you contain this rage? Because you can't grow with this rage like this, knowing that this society will shoot you down in an instant. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
in a multitude of ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So being able to control, self-control, they say, is like a fruit of the spirit. And being able to know where and when to bring that fire,
Gotcha. Yeah.
I'm very fiery when it comes to creating space for Black folks. That's when someone's infringing
yeah
on what that space is, then that's when I go there. Yeah. or again, like I put it in the work, so people understand the urgency of why we need to transform some of our thinking and ways of being.
Thank you, brother. How can Black people and other marginalized groups transcend racism in the Western world? Is it even possible?
To transcend means that all of the beings need to have an internal shift.
Mm.
That's why we're doing the work of getting people to go back to the land.
Got you.
Because when you start having your hands in the land, but what's fucked up is that they tied the race thing to the land. So being able to delineate where people are in the land, right? Creating certain structures, creating highways, creating transportation, bus routes or light rails and shit that don't go to certain places or do, so that becomes the thing. So it's in the land. So that means railroads and shit got to come up. That means you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if that's not happening, then and when I'm saying the railroads and things like that, that's also like an internal like pulling up, right?
Yeah.
There's certain things laid within us, certain things embedded within us. It's in our DNA. This is generational.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so to really transcend race, like I don't know. It really has to be land oriented. People to be working together in that capacity. But we know once land is involved, it's a historical thing. So that's what I'm saying. We just got a lot of work to do.
Yeah. That's really the ultimate conclusion. We just gotta keep working. But we're gonna have a little fun now. And
okay.
What are your thoughts on the Will Smith incident?
Oh boy. That was a whole thing. That was a whole thing for everybody.
Got you.
I was like, whoa.
Did your white peers treat you different?
My gosh. It was one of those moments that was like, okay, so how are we going to take this as a Black community? No, we don't want violence to be like shown all like that. It's shown in any way. But also like watching these two people who have a certain kind of visibility, in our culture, displaying this kind of behavior. It's like, no, we don't condone violence, but yes, we do condone violence. So I don't know. It's a yes and, because Black people and anybody who gets hit, I'm not gonna say anybody because some people don't fight. That's fine. That's fine. But I come from a lineage of people who do fight. So yeah.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
So
it's kind of hard to be nonviolent when you're getting slapped across the face. Yeah.
Malcolm X 101. I don't know what else to say.
Malcolm had said if a man hits you, make sure he never hits another man again. Hey, don't put your hands on people. I grew up in Brownsville, Brooklyn. That's rule number one. Don't put your hands on people.
That's what your mama told you before in a Black house.
Yes. Yes.
Don't put your hands on nobody. And if somebody put their hands on you,
you better fight them. Yo, oh man, yo, mama, like, I know you ain't crying. I know you ain't crying. Ray, you better get back out there, boy.
Seriously. You know, but then it's like, okay, what if Ray don't want to fight? And then this person was being violent because they upset about some shit and they like, you know what I mean? So
for
then
real.
it gets to that level.
It's cyclical.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then we get to that point where we're saying, is violence okay? Is, you know, putting your hands on somebody ever okay? You know, no, it's not, because it's stemming from a place of pain, a place of trauma. Have you ever seen this movie called The Gods Must Be Crazy?
Nah, I've heard of it.
So just a short synopsis of it. The Gods Must Be Crazy, basically. I
write it down.
It's a great movie. Like, a plane crosses over and drops well, I don't want to give it away. Yeah. I'll just let the people watch. I'll let you watch. Yeah. But check out The Gods Must Be Crazy, because it really highlights this idea of how violence transmits through a community that was rather peaceful beforehand.
Thank you. I don't know if you heard, but yesterday Young Thug got arrested.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they looking for Gunna. Like I know you have, you know, you're like probably like a hip hop head like a lot of us, and you love like all sorts of music, but like, do you have any thoughts on that kind of stuff, or you just kind of be like just another dude that went to the system?
I mean, that's what it ended up being, right? You know, in terms of how capitalism works.
Yeah.
You know, we really have to be vigilant. You know, I think understanding how money operates, you know, who's operating it, how it start, like there's so many I don't know. There's so many avenues, entry points, exit points. I don't know, you know. And then it's inside of this white system. So it's always like it's going to be for their demise. You know, if you're not being vigilant. Yeah. You ain't being vigilant, bro. Wow. You doing these things, and you know, like, you ain't being vigilant.
Nah, I just that was an epiphany just for me right now, because I'm like, I never thought about money in that way, you know, and I'm always kind of thinking, but it's just like, the more money you have, the greater your demise, or the quicker your demise, in a weird way. Huh?
Hello, more money, more problems.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And it was just sad to see overall, like, you know, the charges are new, but it's just sad to see another brother who you know, had access, had millions, had everything, the quote unquote American dream, and it's just like, what was it for? But again, like, we don't know, and it's all like, it's not speculation, like, he's in custody, but you know, you hope that sometimes that these things aren't true. And you know, what do you do if you're performing a dance on stage and somebody you don't like run up on you, like almost like a Will Smith situation? What would you do?
Not run up on me. I think I would like to think You
Let me
know,
channel my African. Hold on.
like,
Let me get the ancestors.
like, no, run up on me.
What I look like.
You already know that's a no. Like, that's just a no. Like,
Yeah. You'll be reciprocated with like a karate kick. At the very least.
at the very. Like, that's like, no. So that's not a thing. But
Got you.
I have had people, be moved maybe in not a positive way during my performances.
Got you.
I think when I was in, again, Houston, Texas, where I was performing a piece called How to Survive a Plague. You've seen How to Survive a Plague, I think, at you came to
Oh, that was like years ago.
you
Somewhere
were,
in Brooklyn, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
Was that How to Survive a Plague that you saw?
I don't remember the
Did
names.
we have costumes on? Or do you? I think you may have come to this performance.
Yeah,
but,
gotcha.
How to Survive a Plague is a work that is centering the stories and honoring healing of Black male bodies in Black generational artistic bodies who have been lost to AIDS and HIV. And so taking that kind of work to Houston, where I look like I'm dressed as Eshu. Eshu is often depicted as the devil in the West, but it is African deity that is of communication between the heavens and earth. They are a messenger, and so working within this kind of context, being an artistic messenger to deliver these stories and healing to our community, obviously it's the necessary technology.
Yeah. I think you guys did have costumes on.
Yeah.
I think it was like at a small theater.
Yeah, so you saw this piece.
Yeah, no, it was dope. I just thought about something. We'll be closing in a couple, but I thought about like maybe a part of our work as artists and creatives is to kind of endure the pain, because you've had the chance to travel and I've traveled, and it's like there must be a higher purpose for us to be on this plane right now, Yeah, so
it got to be something.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just keep doing the work, because there is a lot of pain, right?
Yeah.
And somebody said, I was in a conversation the other day and we were talking about the difference between wellness and healing. And they was like, I don't really like to say healing because healing suggests there's like something is wrong with you already. And I was like, I have this concept for myself that I said we have to stay in a perpetual state of healing. And that I hold so true to that because being in a white supremacist system that is always trying to do the jab wherever you are, you can't even turn on your TV without being violated, really. You're not being acknowledged. You're always being told what to do, what to buy, how to be.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh man, you have any upcoming projects? What are you working on for the summer?
Yeah, I am gonna be in Minnesota working with the Penumbra Theater.
Okay.
We are creating a new work called Spitting Seeds.
Mm.
We've been in this incubator, I guess, or this residency called Ashe Lab
Mm-hmm.
for about 2 years, 2.5 now.
Yeah.
Because due to pandemic and things, having such a sporadic residency meeting time and
Yeah.
trying to collaborate via Zoom and all the other ways we navigate it. But this will be the culmination of what we've been researching and creating. So we in production mode.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be leaving, actually driving up and over to Minnesota next week.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. And then after that, come back here to Ohio. And I'm gonna be going to Detroit, working with some artists there, creating community and figuring out what we're doing as contemporary artists from Ohio to Detroit.
Cool.
And then I'm coming to New York because we're performing at the Lincoln Center.
Okay.
We're doing a tribute to James Baldwin for his birthday, actually.
I should know this one. When is his birthday?
August 3rd.
Okay, cool. I'll definitely try to make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be really cool. Mahogany L. Brown, I don't know if you know her. She is
Yeah,
the
she's like a poet, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
she invited us to do this performance because she's the first poet laureate of the Lincoln Center.
Okay, okay. Yo,
So
Babylon, cut me a check it. Yeah.
look, so
Oh
that's
wow, that's
exciting.
dope. Oh man. So hold on, she's the first poet laureate.
At
So
Lincoln Center.
that my brain don't work too well. That means they haven't had any poet laureates before that.
Period.
Okay, okay.
The first.
The first. Okay.
that's
That's what the first means.
that's what the first mean. There's not the second, but the first.
Yo, where Ricardo at?
He's upstairs.
Oh, got you. Next time, man. It's been an honor, brother. I'm gonna end this recording in like another couple of seconds. Thank you for sharing your story and your testimony, and it's an honor to have you continue your journey and try to uplift your people.